What is going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. Hope you guys are doing good. Hope you guys are doing well. In today's video, we're more or less just doing maintenance on clickbait, looking over everything, making sure everything's fine. I've already begun with a lot of it. Like for instance, like there was obviously still fuel sitting in the engine because when we're in line at Brashenats, there was so much pressure on the shutoff valve that I didn't pull it out to like lean it out. Plus, there's no you don't need to lean it out every time when you're just going to be starting it again anyways. But in saying that, that would have left fuel in the bore of the engine. So that's a bad thing. Now, as I'm told by Aaron and everyone, like Aaron from APM, so the engine builder and everyone like that, one of the number one things that hurts these engines is not leaning them out and the importance of leaning them out. So when you lean them out, that literally takes burns all the fuel out of the engine, makes it so there's no fuel left in the lines, make it so there's no fuel left in the engine, all that type of good stuff. Because if there's fuel left in the engine, one of the biggest things that can happen is when the next time you go to start it, especially if there's a lot in there or if it's been there for a while, you go to hit the starter and crank it over and it builds up so much compression that it will bend a rod. Now, it may not literally kick a leg out of bed or bend it in a 45-degree angle, but it may weaken it to the point that it has become now a ticking time bomb and it could go at any point. So that is a massive thing that you always have to check out for. That is why you always hear, like when a car stops, like when a burnout car stops, especially if it's got the hunt where it's like rum, rum, and then when they're stopping, it's like and then it revs up and then it dies. They're leaning it out so that there's no fuel left in the engine, no fuel left in the lines. So pretty much making it so there's no fuel left in the car because of the reason I just told you. So today we do have transmission lines turning up and fittings, and we're gonna finally have all of our own tools to be able to make our own lines. So that also means that I'm going to be able to do the oil cooler. So we already have this bad boy just here. So this is just like the Aeroflow LS oil cooler, more or less the adapter that goes on down in the engine, just down there. Already got my two -10 fittings just here. We've already got the cooler's already mounted, already wired. Just got to put the fittings in under there. So I'm going to route the hose along here, down under there. But we're going to figure out how we're doing it because it's going to be right next to the headers. But yeah, and then we've got the transmission lines too. So we're changing those to 200 series. They were 500 series. So that was half the issue that we had because they kind of melted and got hot. So we've also got heat sleeve there. So for the issue that we had on the weekend, for if you're actually kind of asking yourself or asking us, was the trans cooler lines, the Teflon braid around the outside began to melt. So we don't know how long it's been happening or if it was just this one case scenario. And one massive thing that wouldn't have been contributing to it is the fact that who's calling me? Indy's calling me. Hello.
Hi, babe. Your breakfast is ready.
Oh, okay. I'll come in now.
Okay.
Okay, bye. Okay, we'll continue this conversation after I've eaten. All right, so back from a quick little feast. Thank you, Indy. And I literally just got a text from Australia Post saying that your parcel from Rocket Industries is coming today between 12:35 and 2:35. That is extremely freaking specific. I wonder if it is actually going to make it through that window. Hang on, I'm gonna have to go back and watch what I just was saying so that I know what I was saying. Okay, so yeah, one massive thing that would have been contributing to the factor is the fact that we have all of our fans for clickbait on the same button. So we got the thermo fans that are just here, trans cooler down the back, and then I'm pretty sure that's wired to the same button too. We just need to put a relay in under the dash and that should be on. So we'll check that today while we're doing this. But yeah, the massive thing is with methanol, it takes so long to get to any temperature into the engine. And then of course, you don't want to be romping on it when it's cold. So you're sitting there idling for a long time, especially when it's an event in the middle of winter like Brashenats, and it is so hard to get temperature in. So you're just rolling around the pits, driving, everything like that, no fans on. Because we haven't got a trans temp gauge just yet, you kind of prioritize the engine over the trans, which obviously is a horrible idea because before you know it, you're going to start cooking the box. So this is still a blessing in disguise because these trans lines let go before we could cook the box. So It sucks because it means we couldn't skid a Brashnets, but like I said, blessing in disguise, something to learn from. So not only have I ordered 200 series, which is a steel braid hose, I've also got heat sleeve for it. So, because it's obviously getting hot up under there. But then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to change the wiring from the transcooler fan so that it's not on the fans button. I'm going to put that so it's on the send button, which is the button for the MSD, like ECU, like the ignition control. So if the car's going to be on, the transcooler is going to be on, because it has to be on pretty much at all times to keep the box cool. So I can actually show you what it was pretty much doing. Yeah, so on the Teflon line, I'll come out here. So it wasn't like the ends failing, it wasn't because it's aeroflow, it wasn't anything like that. It was literally just because we probably didn't use wasn't the smartest decision to use this series of hose, for instance. So obviously you can see it has melted the Teflon all off. This is the side that's at the box. And then it literally, once it melted the outside off, it could just give it enough give so that it could slip out of the fitting, popped out, Bob's your uncle, all the fluids on the ground. Because you come down to this side, and we're checking it, and everything's still mint down here, everything's perfectly fine, but it just began, like, it cooked the hose, which means that it could shrink enough to pop out of the fitting, and that is our issue. So if Rocket was open, we could have fixed this on the day so easily, kind of thing, but you live and you learn. So now we'll learn, kind of thing, and know what to do. So this kind of stuff just shows what kind of spares we need, because normally we have to rely on Mitch with so much. Like, the amount of times that Mitch has gotten us out of trouble, I honestly cannot freaking count. We always try to plan ahead, we always try to think of what we're gonna need, but you never think of such a random thing like that, and that has nothing to do with maintenance. That was just an in-the-moment issue. Which really sucks because we couldn't see it coming, but it's okay. From this we've learned, and like with every event, not only do we learn the car, but we learn how to do events. So from one thing that we're going to really be doing from now on is stockpiling on parts. So like fittings, hose. I don't even own my own AN wrenches. If you saw the ones that are on the header tank at the moment, they're actually Mitch's. When we were doing everything over the weekend, when we were packing up, someone must have just assumed they were mine, so they just chucked him in the wagon. So I have to take those back to him as well, because I've stolen so much of his crap. God love you, Mitch. Massive shout out. But yeah, so we need, like, it is just such an expensive sport, but that's just part of the game we play. So we are going to start putting together some stuff, so we can just take to events. So we've always got stuff, because not only that, it would be freaking amazing if, say, Mitch needed something or someone else. It would be awesome if we could help out for once. I know I've been rambling on for a long time, but pretty much the gist of it is, if you can see here with all the tape, because I don't know the leads off by heart, which one they go to. I just took them off, taped them, numbered them, so I know which lead goes to which plug. But yeah, so I pretty much just popped all the spark plugs out, hit the starter, and just pushed all the fuel out. So I'll chuck that footage in here because I did film it. And yeah, so now pretty much what we're going to do today with under the kind of supervision of, or under guide of Jake Myers pretty much, because he gave me the tip, we're going to drain all of the methanol out of the car. The header tank's already pretty much empty. I already emptied that out. But we need to get this dash 12 hose. We need to get that off so we can empty it out from the bottom under there, clear it out of methanol. He said that he runs unleaded petrol in the fuel cell and then kind of just flushes it through the front and back, because that's more of a lubricating agent. It's not going to eat into the inner, like, rubber hoses and everything. So that's going to last and be good. And then we have CRC, which is a lubricant that we're going to, like, just chuck in here, get it around the barrel valve and everything like that. Chuck it in these lines just to lubricate it, because we don't know how much longer it's going to be until we go to another event type thing. So just make everything so it's going to stay fresh and not corrode and going to be mint. And yeah, if you can see this is we want to start, like, making these to sell these. So not only have we got the OG one that we made the other week, we wanted to change them and go crazy, so you can pretty much customize them to do whatever you want. So this one, we didn't have the right transfer tape for sticking it on, so we've got, like, some little learning things on them, but other than that, the thing looks freaking so sick because I wanted to have a bunch of different styles that we can do. So this one has like a rubber seal around the edges so that it's actually pressed up against the front of the like the front of the like hat so that nothing can get in. But yeah, we're thinking of selling these, or at least making them for some of the other big boys, because you can literally print whatever you want on the front of them, so it'll look freaking sick. Okay, I feel like I've rambled way too much, so I'm now going to set this up and we're going to start doing some maintenance on the old girl. Okay, so I can film what I'm doing. I'm going to actually put on my helmet, and so I've got this chin mount just here, and I'll film what I'm doing because that's going to make life a lot easier. So, going to jump to the helmet cam now. Alrighty, so I have absolutely no idea if you can hear me, but it's probably going to sound really muffled. So they're -6, you're -8. So we've just taken most of the meth out of the fuel cell. There's probably still like, I don't know, what, 40 odd liters in there. So Indy helped me with that, and we battled with the freaking siphon hose to get it out. It was a mission, but my arms are dead now. So yeah, I've already gone through, done all of these top hoses. I need to get to that bottom hose on the fuel pump somehow, but it is so tight under there. But while I'm here, I may as well, even though I want to change the spark plug leads, the spark plugs. The plugs are fine, but my theory is if we get 2 more sets, then we can put a fresh set in, then we've got a spare brand new set, and then we've got this set as a last resort, because these are still fine. Yeah, still need to get plugs and money and type things. So I put all the plugs back in. I didn't do them up tight just so that I knew that they were in there. So I'll chuck them all in now, and then we can tighten them up now, and then we can put all the leads back on so that everything looks nice in here again. I was talking to Tim the other day actually, and I remember how when the car was on the street, I only ever did the plugs once, and it was shit because, like, with all the OEM stuff in the way, it's so hard to get to them. Whereas, like, with minimalistic shit around it, man, it is so easy to get them out, and you could do a plug change in like 5 minutes as long as the car's not hot.
I'm just gonna scooch in here. Excuse me, sir. We've been trying to contact you about your car's extended warranty.
So there's even trans oil like all along the tail shaft, like everywhere. So yeah, at the moment I got both of them going that way. Whereas if I rotate that way, I can 90s, but I won't make that bend. Unless I just run it this way, 90s, and follow this.
Are you asking me, or are you talking to yourself?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, either way, we get the fuel out of these lines. Make sure these lines are in good nick still. Alright, let's just do the fuel first. Yep. Yep.
This is a great angle.
Is it flattering?
Yeah.
Okay, so now that all of the methanol is out of the system, we're going to put, as per what Jake said, we're going to put a bit of unleaded fuel in there now and just run it through the system, because apparently that just like lubes everything up, because meth obviously dries and corrodes, whereas unleaded fuel doesn't really do that. So we'll chuck some 98 in there, pump it through, and then we can check the fittings that we've played with and make sure they're not leaking. Yeah, filming there, so at the front tank. you're literally just waiting until you can hear fuel shooting in through here or see it.
Okay.
And then just tell me to stop.
All right. Yep.
Ready.
I can smell it though.
Yeah, so it's probably because we put in like, well, that's a 5-litre jerry can. We put in like maybe what, less than a litre.
Yeah.
So the surface area of the fuel cell, that's probably like that deep. So it's like, it's only just pulling enough for the fuel pump to suck. But if you, like you said, you can smell it, yeah?
Mm.
Yeah, it's definitely fuel. So that will do, donkey. That will do. Okay, we've definitely been playing for fuel. We've definitely been playing with fuel for a bit too long now. I can like start to feel a tiny bit lightheaded. I think like methanol really doesn't do that to you much, but just playing with like petrol for like 5 seconds and like, yeah, you definitely start to feel it. So I'm going to call quits here because that's pretty much all we're really going to do today. So drained all of the methanol out of it, lubed up like the fuel lines and the barrel valve and the hat and everything. Checked the filters and everything, pumped, yeah, so all the meth's out. Put a tiny bit of petrol through it, which like that, it won't hurt it or anything because it's not as abrasive or aggressive as methanol. It's just going to like help lubricate it and keep it fine instead of sitting such an aggressive thing in there for so long. But that's pretty much all I'm going to do, the checking over. And the camera died. So, but that's pretty much we're going to call it quits today. Just wanted to make sure that we got all of that out of there because like I said, you don't know how long it's going to be sitting. And now that all of that is out, pretty much we just got to make these new trans lines. And then heat shielding on everything because I'm going to do the oil cooler lines too. So the next video we'll be doing at least the trans cooler lines. But yeah, that's going to wrap today's video after a little bit of maintenance. So I'll catch you guys in the next one, which will be Thursday at 6 p.m. So catch you in the next one. Take you later. See you later. Peace.
I've been thugging, you bitching and bugging. There's nothing that we got in common. I've been out grinding and hustling, investing this paper. Got tired of eating that ramen. All of my music be heat. I ain't missing a beat. I've been blessed with impeccable timing. Watch all them people who friendly, it turn into envy whenever they see that you shining. Okay, I'm back.